Hello and welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are doing Five's upgrade. Now it's the last one of the 501st brothers that really need an upgrade here. Not really much needs adding to the guy. We needed a bit of weathering obviously to bring him in line with the other brothers that we've done. But the main part is this crest at the top of that helmet there. It needs elonging, it needs to be widening up. So we're going to take that off with a little bit of acetone as well. The other kind of details around on the helmet we add on as well, and all the other little bits to just bring it up to speed. I do feel like the pauldron as well, it kind of looks like it needs a bit of different colours on there. I keep looking at this, sometimes this looks completely black, sometimes it looks a little bit of a lighter grey and stuff. So I'm actually going to take a bit of inspiration here from his other brothers that we got. So this one is normally the same sort of colour as this, so I'm going to leave it this side, and then with Jesse I think I'm going to go for a lighter colour on this side. So it's kind of like they all got the same sort of colours initiated between each other, and they're sort of like an amalgam of both. So I think that is the better option for the pauldron, and the rest is just, yeah, the little details that we need to add down the line. I'm kind of using a little bit of reference here of the 501st kind of ARC Trooper, the Hot Toys, that's the one I would get out. But again, the details on him doesn't look right, so I'll probably look back at the helmet and other parts around here. But some of them, it's like odd colours, like even these, like the Karma is white on this guy here, and then the greys are an off blue. So I'm not going to go too depth into those sort of colours there, but I will take a little bit of inspiration from that figure. But that's it. So I guess without further ado, let's crack on with it. Using nail varnish remover, we're going to move away the design on the actual helmet itself. Just make sure it's got acetone in the ingredients, and be careful when using the cotton bud sticks as well. Use plenty of them, you don't want to smear that blue all over the place. So next up, I forgot to actually record me painting the pauldron on the top, but I've done it in a nice light grey with using white and grey together, mixing it up, and then we just paint it onto his right hand side. So using Old Faithful here, we're going to use the flat black, and we're going to go around doing all the webbing around on the front and the back. We're also going to do his pouches on the back and on his pauldron, and then using the black as well, outlining all the pauldron parts around on the outsides and not going over the main parts in the middle. So using the Old Faithful of Gunmetal X10, we're going to paint his guns and also his backpack as well. Just do the dark blue parts of the backpack. The other bits that are already kind of gunmetal, just leave those and we'll paint around it. And also he's got the ammo pouches as well above the pouches, paint that in gunmetal. Finishing off the ammo pouches there with a bit of flat black, we're just going to pull it down in that centre part. So next up, Tamira doesn't unfortunately make the blue that we have for the 501st, so I've used a combination of here of flat blue, a little bit of white, and then as it started getting into the colour, just added a little bit more blue, and then I also added a bit of grey to bring that sort of tone back down so it didn't go too light. And actually it turned out really well. I am surprised. So a nice detailed brush here, just make sure that you have a steady hand. If not, you can use water decals for that moment, but yeah, just be very precise with it. It took me a lot of attempts to do this. The right hand side, absolutely fine. Doing the left hand side, it must have took me at least 5 to 6 attempts. So feel free to have a laugh while you watch this fail attempt many a times, and I'll see you a little bit later on. So towards the end now, just using a little bit of white to neaten up the lines there rather than using acetone to take off the rest. And then using flat red, you want to put in the last few details. The little triangle on his bit in the middle and then the two little dots either side. Then using the Ocean Grey XF82 and just putting that imperial line around the back there. It just brings in that extra detail, making it look pretty cool. So now using some silver, we're just going to put that around on all his little studs. So you've got the two pouches on the back and then you've got the 3 buttons on the pouches on his pauldron as well. And I just added a few extra little details to his backpack and to his guns as well. And then we finished it off with the range finder, making that completely silver. So now we're going to weather the figure. I've actually gone away and used TS80 flat clear to give it a nice coat of sealant, and then I've gone to weather this figure with the black. Kind of like, I like a little bit of dry brushing now rather than sort of wet wash. I can apply it in the places I like, and I can smear it a little bit as well, using the white, adding extra chip-ins, and using the gun down marker as well to give it some extra kind of battle damage. It's up to you how you want to sort of weather your figures. Some people like to really weather it up, other people like to keep it plain, and I kind of like a little bit in the middle there, kind of a little bit more better than what Hasbro would naturally produce about 3 years ago. So here he is, all finished and done and ready to join his brothers on the shelf. And oh my god, that helmet I wanted to throw out. I had to learn to give up, knowing that it's not going to be 100% perfect, but I feel like it's the best of my capabilities at least. You could use water slides if you like to. There's nothing wrong with that. I always like to do it freehand, knowing that I have achieved that. So yeah, really there's not a lot of paints that I've used here. We used flat white XF2. I used a few little chip-ins and stuff over the armor. We'll go through that bit in a minute, but the main part I used for this was actually more of a mixer for the blue and his pauldron as well. So yeah, so that was the XF white. We had Fill Blue. Again, we don't really use this a lot, and that was literally just around on these kind of webbing parts around on his belts. Gunmetal always comes in handy, so this is for his guns. Also the ammo pouches on his sort of like extra webbing parts around on there, and his backpack. And then we use flat blue XF8, so with a little bit of this sort of blue, a little bit of white, and I did actually add in the other colour here, which is XF82 Ocean Grey. Just a little bit of speck in there, just a tiny to get the match on there. And I think I've actually really matched the blue up, as I didn't actually paint the rest of the helmet at all. I just done like front details. And again with this as well, this is the Imperial colour that I've used around on the back of the helmet there. XF flat red X7, and that's simply for the red triangles and details on his helmet. And then we've used the silver, the chrome on here, a little bit of chip-ins on his ammo pouches, a little bit on the guns, and then a little bit on the backpack as well, and his rangefinder. And then also we used the flat black, and that is just all those bits around on the pauldron, his pouches, little details down here, which we'll go through all this in a minute as well, have a bit of a close-up, and then also around on his pauldron. And the other parts we use nail polish remover. This is acetone, as I said before, just make sure it's in the ingredients here. We've got acetone, and that was to simply remove that original deco that it had on his helmet. And then other little bits we used here. So I've got the Gundam marker, you can pick these up for about £5 off Amazon. And these are all the little chip-ins and other little black bits that you will see around on the armor. And then here's Acto knife, just to get into his other hand on here, just to slice that finger, separate it from that, so he's actually got a nice trigger finger on there as well. So with that, we can actually go through this guy's details and slowly work down and looking at it. So there's the helmet, there's the new details on there. I did cheat a little bit, I did use a little bit of white as well, because it was a little bit sort of a bit over, but I feel like I've achieved it. I feel like if I took it away again, I probably would have got worse, and by the time I get back to this standard again, it would have been a lot more times as well. So just use your patience, be really careful with it. And yeah, so just adding that sort of extra trim around on the back there. I've added a little bit of black as well in that little grille, just give it a bit more details. And then we silvered up that rangefinder as well, It just gives it all that little bit more lifelike into the actual figure itself. Around on the pauldron, so this is the original colour that we've left on here, all around on this part, and then we used that ocean grey and we used white as well to get this sort of similar colour. As I said at the beginning, I wanted to do a bit of a amalgamation of Jesse, and then we got Echo as well. So Jesse, and he's got blue and this sort of colour here, and now he's got this colour and this grey, which is mainly on this guy here. So he's got the grey and the blue, he's got the blue, he's got the light grey, like, so they all got like the same sort of colour combinations across all of them as well. And I feel like, looking at some of the reference pictures as well, that this one is lighter and this one's darker, but it's not black, because there's always like an out trim around it as well. And then we got the black studs, the silver studs and the black pouches on here, and around on the back parts as well, just adding that extra colour into the webbing as well, with those black lines and stuff around on it. It just adds to that extra details. And on the inside as well, just those pouches, adding that flat black in the middle of the sort of gunmetal as well, with the little blue on the sides as well, just sort of like gives it a lot more details. And we've done the silvers as well on the backpacks around as well, and got the extra blues as well. So yeah, it's not looking too bad. We've got the extra scratches and stuff that I said I've added on there. With the Gundam marker, I just kind of sort of like mark it underneath the scratch as well, just gives it a little more depth and a little bit more weathering as well. So, and then down on his feet, we haven't really touched down there, apart from adding some extra white chippings and other little bits. And on these pistols, we obviously added that silver and the gunmetal as well, just add those little extra details in there to make them look more realistic. And on the inside, it's obviously just 5s, but we haven't added anything to that apart from a matte spray. The matte spray that I do use is this one here, which is TS80 flat clear. And once I actually done the figure, I spray it with this, and then I go away and do the weathering, and then I respray it again. So I don't want to sort of upset what I've painted. So yeah, really good on there. It doesn't really say anything on the front apart from spray paint. So just make sure you look at the top layer, TS80 flat clear, and it's really, really good covering spray. So yeah, here is Echo now. He's put on this, not Echo, Christ, we've got 5s. And then obviously we can bring in his younger self as well, one of the original kind of clones that I made. And now AliExpress, you need to hurry up, because I want a phase 2 5s as well, and get the decal right, because I can't be asked to go off and repaint it. And then we've got Echo as well. It's so nice to have on the shelf, like we've got Echo and 5s together officially as well. That's really cool. So hopefully we get more arcs away down here from Hasbro. And maybe we might get Havoc and the Ranker squad, who knows. But yet we can still make some customs further down the line. So thank you for joining this one. I hope you actually learned something from here, and if you do try these ones, send me some pictures as well on Instagram. I'd love to see your work, and I'll post it on my Instagram as well. And I even might make up a video. So if you ever made a figure that you've seen and done an upgrade to, or you've copied one of my customs and stuff, let me know. Send some pictures over to Instagram, because I might actually make a video up with all your guys' work to celebrate the 4 years and the, well, getting over 6,000 subscribers. So thank you so much indeed. So until next time, ding that bell, subscribe. You can join the channel for 99p or 99 cents from wherever you are from. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.